Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreath. Some of you guys have asked what kind of hot glue I use. This is it. Gorilla Glue, hot glue. They sell them in the mini sticks. They sell them in these big sticks. I buy them on Amazon. And then if you use a glue pot like I do, I literally just cut them in half and throw them into the glue pot when it's on. So they won't really fit in the glue pot this big. So I'll just kind of shrink it down. Just chomp it one time with the wire cutter, and then we can throw them in the glue pot. I'm just prepping it just in case I have time to do the embellishment step today. We are going to be adding in our ribbon tails onto a gorgeous blue and silver snowy snowflake wreath. So let me go throw these in my glue pot and let's get it going. Let's make sure it's plugged in, eh? Plug it in. All right. There we go. Put that out of the way. Okay. So here's our wreath base. Gorgeous blue and silver. It is, so the mesh, we used a really pretty blue and white stripe mesh. And then we use this gorgeous white and silver. It's not holographic, is that what? It's like reflective, and it reminded me of snow and beautiful ice and all the things. So those are cut, it's on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, 18 ties like always, and the mesh is cut to 30 inches long, just because it is a little bit on the thin side. And what that did is it gave us 12 pieces cut at 30 inches. And but we did more white than blue because this is a snowy and icy wreath, and I really want to make sure blue is good for snow. You know, in our the sign that we're going to be using that the customer requested is a blue let it snow sign. So I think this is going to be so gorgeous. We're going to be incorporating like light blues, whites, silvers. Okay, we're giving it a really pretty snowy look. Okay, so these are the ribbons that we're going to be using. These are 1.5 inch. We have two different ones. We have, this one has like snowflakes, like little silver speckles, and this one has a silver stripe, both glittery. And then we're also using these blue ones. This one has the white pine and pine cones, and then we also have this glittery snowflake one. Okay, so we'll be putting 2 pieces of ribbon in each tie. One 1.5 inch and one 2.5 inch. They are both cut to 13 inches long. We don't need to open up the ties that the mesh is in. There's enough length on those pipe cleaners. And then after we put the ribbon in, we are going to tuck the pipe cleaners underneath because we don't need to add anything more to those pipe cleaners. We are going to be coming in and adding embellishments to those, but we don't need to tie them in. So we're just going to push it all the way to the frame. We want it nice and tight. We don't want our ribbon like flopping at the edges or anything like that. We want everything nice and secure, not having it blow too much or anything like that. So it'll look like this. Okay, so we're gonna go all the way around, adding the different ribbons and ribbon combinations, I should say. We already have the mesh in our wreath. Okay, and again, they're 13 inches long, and we put the 1.5 on top of the 2.5 because both of them are slightly sheer, and it just adds a really pretty dimension to it to be able to see that blue through the white and silver. So I was gonna say through the clear. It's not clear. It is translucent, but it is not clear. Okay. So there we go. We're just gonna go all the way around, making sure that our mesh is butting up right next to each other, so it's a nice full look. This mesh is, like I said, cut to 30 inches long. If you need to see any tutorials on how to add the mesh, I have lots of them in the video section. Not necessarily for this wreath, but it's the same technique. It's like a ruffle where you take the end and you curl it under a couple times, and then you just ruffle up the middle, kind of like a fan. Put the cut side facing down into the pipe cleaner that's already attached to the frame. Okay, and I did use silver pipe cleaners to match the theme that we're going for here. Even though we won't be able to see the pipe cleaner from the front, the customer will be able to see it from the back. We want it to look nice and professional. Just because it's handmade doesn't mean it needs to look homemade necessarily, right? We want to keep our craft looking as professional as we can. We're thankful that our customer decided to choose to shop small, but at the same time we want to give them the very best product that we can create, and we want to, you know, look like we're taking ourselves seriously around here, right? Okay. We want to act like we know what we're doing. No, just kidding, we do know what we're doing. Most of the time. Okay. I'll always say I'm by no means a professional, but practice does make progress. And I've been doing, I've had my Etsy shop for about 6 years now. I'm almost at 600 wreath sales, and I've been loving it. So I'm thankful that you guys have chose to watch my tutorials and my videos. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps tell YouTube and the different algorithms that I am legitimate content, and it'll help me to reach even more people like you. So there's that. I'm really excited about this theme. I think it's going to be so beautiful, and it'll be perfect to display all wintertime long, all the way into Valentine's Day. You know, I always think that it should be snowy on Christmas, which is true. I will always believe that. But I tend to forget that we get, here in Michigan, the highest volume of snow comes in February. So I always try to keep that in mind. So if it doesn't snow in December, it'll come. You just gotta be patient. We've gotten snow even in April, so you never know. You never know what's gonna come. That snow, Mother's Nature's mystery, right? There's weather. I've heard people say that the weatherman's job is the best job to have because you don't ever have to be right. Just kidding. They do their best. Forecasting is a science. So I respect that for them. All right. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you guys are wreath makers, if you guys are making winter designs now, or if we're still doing Christmas. I've moved on to winter now. I know Christmas is about 3 weeks away. I still have a few left in my shop, a few Christmas designs, which I'm making sure that I ship out right away when people do order those so that they can display them for as long as possible. But it does seem that people are switching over to wanting winter now, which makes sense. Right? They probably have most of their Christmas decorations already up. But if not, I'm here for you. I got an Etsy shop. Head on over. I'll be sure to ship out that day or next. So, big blue wreath. There you go. Some self-promotion there for you. All right, we are almost done with the bottom. We have 2 more pieces to put in. Again, there's 12 on the bottom. There's 6 ties on the top, but we're going to put ribbon in 5 because that bottom one we're going to be putting a nice large bow. We don't need to put ribbon underneath the bow because it won't be seen. So yeah, we're going to be putting a gorgeous snowy sign on here that says "Let It Snow" with little blue snowflakes. It's the exact same color as the light blue in this blue mesh, which is actually striped. It's kind of hard to see on camera probably, but it's the same color as the ribbon. It's the same color as the mesh. A nice matchy-matchy look. We're going to be adding lots of snowflakes and snowy pine cones and snowy greenery. It's going to be nice. And silver bells, of course. My customer has requested silver bells, which I support fully. I love adding bells to my wreath. The sound of bells, when the door opens, just brings back very soothing and comforting memories for me. And I like when I walk up to the UPS and I have a Christmas wreath and it is jingling on the way. I love that. I think that's so fun. Makes me smile. So I try to incorporate as many bells into my creations as I can. And customers love it too. Okay, and we're just tucking it underneath like that. Okay, if you have any frays, you can either cut them off or pull them. Mesh is a woven material, so it is bound to fray, but if you use a sharp rotary cutter or sharp scissors and try to cut as straight of a line as possible, it will help minimize those frays. And also, the higher quality mesh you buy, the better too. It does make a difference. I know some things, let me find that pipe cleaner. Some things it seems like the price doesn't really matter or it doesn't impact the quality, but mesh it definitely does. So you don't want to scrimp on the cost of mesh. All right, we just have a few more to put in and then we'll be done. Making sure that we alternate our ribbons to keep it the same look as the bottom, every other one. Our next step will be putting in our sign, making our bow, and then adding in the embellishments. My customer saw one of my wreaths that I had posted that had sold, and she was hoping to make another wreath like an inspired wreath, but instead of a skinny wreath to fit between two doors, it was a full wreath, and that's what we're creating here. We have one more set to put in. And then we will be all done. Okay, so I always fold them in half to make sure that it's even on both sides, and then just gather it in the middle and then pull it together like that, kind of like a seagull or inverted V, however you want to paint the picture. And then just put it right in there, give it a couple twists, and then tuck it right under. And then we're all set. We're going to put our bow right here, and we are all set with the ribbon step. Here's how it's looking. Nice and full. All right, thanks so much, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.